Canadian Muslim group is calling on Ottawa to ban the wearing of the burqa in public, saying the argument that the right to wear it is protected by the Charter's guarantee of religion is false. Is this your organisation?
I founded it.
You founded it?
Yes.
You believe the burqa should be banned in public?
No, the demand was to have anyone concealing their face in public to be prohibited, whether it's, silk stocking over your face, or Zorro, or Little Lone Ranger.
Little Lone Ranger?
Yes.
What? I think that's lost in translation.
But essentially, the point was...
It's the burqa. Zorro is not a major problem. People wearing stockings. You're talking about...
They have been ridiculed out of our narrative, but the face mask that was used to rob a bank in Mississauga, and which none of the newspapers had the courage to report on because they felt it would offend the Muslim community. The Muslim community is an issue of safety, issue of security, an issue of a fundamental right of two people communicating to know who they're talking to.
There are women who dress every day as though they are pieces of meat.
I know.
Here am I to be used sexually by you. I'm trying to arouse you. You don't comment on that, but you want the burqa to be banned.
I don't see them on the street. People can wear a burqa any way they wish. I'm talking in public discourse when two human beings interact, when one person talks to another, to have a fundamental right to know who they're talking to.
Don't talk to the person.
Okay, three things I would like to point out of what she said. Covering for security reasons. What about people that cover during winter? Does he want to force people not to cover their faces so they can protect themselves from the cold? Is he going to arrest those people? Does he want to ban kids who have snowball fights? They can't cover their faces. Does he want to ban people that are afraid to catch certain type of diseases, that they can't cover their face with certain masks? And about the fundamental right to know who you're talking to, I'm from America, so I don't know if Canada has a law in which it's a fundamental right that you know who you're talking to or not. But how does this guy deal with operators when he has to call his credit card company, when he has to call his cable service? Does he ask them, oh, let me see how you look, get online, get a webcam? Or does he still manage somehow, somehow he does manage to have a reasonable conversation with them? Oh, and one last thing, I'm not going to show any pictures about how some women dress, but him telling the guy he don't see those women in the streets dressed in that way when the guy told him how about women that dress provocatively or promiscuously. Obviously, that's a total lie. Some women do dress extremely bad.
Talking to.
Don't talk to the person.
No, that person is coming to me. If it's retail, public sales, airlines, school bus riding, driving a school bus for children, at all these stages there's interaction between one citizen and another.
Okay, and what now? Are you talking about the full covering?
Yes.
So nothing is visible, the eyes through a mesh?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so
I don't know if it's Margaret Thatcher or Kim Campbell or, who...
Probably not either of those. So it's not a hijab, it's not just a covering of the head.
I don't have a problem even if people, or we don't have a problem people wearing that nonsense. What we're saying is that...
You call the hijab nonsense?
Not the hijab. The niqab is nonsense. It is terrible. All of human history, no people on earth have ever made a segment of the population walk around in a black tent.
They would say they're not being made to, they want to.
Oh, then someone should tell me who asked them to do it. You don't get a revelation from God saying, oh, suddenly I woke up and I realized I should walk around in 140 degrees temperature in a black tent.
If they want to, now again to imply...
وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ ذلكم أطهر لقلوبكم وقلوبهم يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن.
People should have the right to know who are they dealing with. If I drive a school bus and my children are getting on that bus, I would not like my children to go to a school bus where...
Agreed. If
we had
driving a car, there could be an issue. But some people would say that this is implicit Muslim bashing. It's not about...
It's got nothing to do with religion.
What, hold on, it's not, but it has. It's not about trying to remeasure the decorum of society.
Michael, whether it is the KKK or the Saudi-inspired burqa, I have problems with both. I have problems with anyone.
No one dresses as a Klansman in the streets of any major city.
Because they've been ridiculed out of our society. But when a woman comes in, or a man comes into a burqa, into a bank, no security alarm goes off. In fact, they ring up the multiculturalism office. How can we help you? The guy brings out a gun and says, $50,000. He walks out.
Well, that would help.
Well...
The argument that it shouldn't be, that it's a public safety issue, all of that I agree with 100%. My understanding was that this particular group was also bringing up the issue of the freedom of women and the fact that a burqa and these other things
are... Okay,
absolutely. So but it's beyond that. And I can just tell you this, today I spoke with a Muslim woman whose mother wears a full covering. She doesn't. She has the option. But she said that to take the choice away from her mother would offend her religious sensibilities in Canada.
You said that you're invoking the right to be free to get imprisoned. For you, just a second.
I'm telling you.
But this is racism of... No.
This woman.
No, I want your opinion.
I'll be happy to give it to you.
Yes, so you would want to wear it as a matter of choice? To cover yourself?
Myself personally?
Yes?
Absolutely not.
No, then why would you consider that what you wouldn't want for yourself or your daughter, you would consider that okay for another racial or religious group?
Because if it was her idea of how to worship...
How is that? Let's talk
But if that's her idea, and she's in Canada and she's free, and there's no public safety issue, why would I take that away from her?
1 second. You and I are talking on this issue.
Yes.
Give me an argument that on the merit of that argument I would say, what a great idea. Let's put women in black tents. Give me an argument that says, don't give me her argument.
She's the one who's affected by it. I'm not.
You.
I live in a cultural society where there's freedom of religion and expression.
Laura,
if somebody, you can talk to me all you want, but I'm not the one who's directly making this consideration.
Why? But why are you interfering and saying that if a woman wishes to...
Aren't you interfering and saying she can't?
Absolutely, because that's my command. Absolutely.
And I'm saying, as a Canadian, that she has the right to wear what she wants to wear. Period. I gave you my position. I gave you my argument. Accept it, hear it or not.
No, I'm
but
not
I feel that she has the right.
Laura, 1 second. When a bank is robbed and the person is in a burqa, nobody comes to Laura Babcock and says, what is your community doing?
I just told you, I don't think in a safety in a public place it's appropriate.
Then why are you
making two arguments here?
No, this is
excuse me.
It is not. Don't even suggest
the Muslim Canadian Congress, quote, in Canada we recognize the equality of men and women. We want to recognize gender equality as an absolute. The burqa marginalizes women. I absolutely reject that premise, frankly.
So do I.
Because I am uncomfortable with the burqa. And I do think it's very negative and very regressive. However... and I do see the argument, but the idea of saying you cannot wear this... I see I see offensive costume worn every day. Yeah. I remember being at an event, and I can't say the word, but there was a young man wearing...
First, I would like to applaud the lady. She did a great job talking and trying to convey her message to this ignorant and pathetic excuse of a Muslim. The guy had 6 minutes or 5 minutes to say all that he wanted to say, and the lady couldn't even talk for 1 minute without him trying to interrupt her and trying to, force her to stop talking and listen to him. And then this guy goes on to talk about security reasons. He wants to ban the Niqab because a person wore the Niqab during a bank robbery. What about sunglasses? Why don't you ban those also? Why don't you also try to ban hats and caps and cowboy hats? Why don't you also ban people from wearing hoodies, since many people who commit bank robberies also do that? Where is it going to end?